So 15 years ago, these two were married. We were in Westlake, Ohio, in Colleen, I think.
Yes.
All these beautiful bridesmaids, and I was asked to give a toast, and I melted down and cried for 15 minutes.
Does anybody have any tissues?
And all the bridesmaids kind of looked at, so what's wrong with this guy? Is he mentally ill or whatever? So you won't get a repeat of that tonight, but that was 15 years ago. You may know or may not know that there's roots here at Arizona State and Amy Mickelson, right? Phil Mickelson's wife. And there's probably a nice parallel here, which is about commitment and friendship between husband and wife, and between all of you who have the autism cause at your heart, and you're passionate about it, and so forth. So there's a real commitment there that parallels Amy and Phil Mickelson back in those Arizona State days. Now, as Sister Kathy, who's fights with Colleen, is possibly...
Who's not a nun.
Just saying.
Just want to make that clear.
Sister Kathy, who fights with Colleen, is possibly the most Irish of the Irish gals of the Patton clan, which means that you're, part manic depressive, part alcoholic,
Bipolar.
but very conventionally, very conventionally loyal. The first trait of Irish is loyalty, and the family comes first. So Kathy came up with this idea and said, if we go back to the very beginning, so here I was 12 or 13 years old, I had no brothers and 3 sisters, and Mom was unexpectedly pregnant again. And this is prior to Roe versus Wade, so we didn't know about what pro-life was.
That's terrible.
But we did. So Mom's 43. She's going to have a baby. It's an immaculate conception. And I am deeply resentful for the fact that I have not had a brother. Right? I've got all these sisters. So Dad and I travel to Notre Dame, the shrine of Catholics, and go to the Notre Dame bookstore, and I buy these Notre Dame football booties. They were obviously for a male birth. And I'm convinced that I will have a brother, finally, the whole thing, and go through this whole pomp and circumstance and prayer and ritual at the shrine in Notre Dame and the whole thing. I mean, this is practically a religious experience. I'm going to have a brother. And of course, Colleen came along. And so in honor of that day,
She was kind of like a boy for about 3 years.
Got the pictures over there.
When I took my
We had a hard time getting her pink.
So in honor of that moment, when I take my paper out money and went to Notre Dame bookstore and bought these booties for my football playing younger brother. Kathy, you have something to present to your sister?
They were actually Adidas. You got it they were Adidas boots.
Back then, it was the big thing was Adidas had the 3 stripes. They called them
Yeah.
So back then they were about 1.5 inches long, and I was going to have a brother who's whatever else.
It's a big baby.
So thanks for Sister Kath for bringing that along. So Colleen has been known to have a little bit of energy from time to time.
What do you call me, Al? High energy?
To kind of manage the husband, the kids, and the dogs, more importantly, all that stuff. A lot of high energy, but the reality is that she's a mere product of her father, who also had a birthday today, who turned 80. And Grandpa Ron at 80 is still working in our business, and traveling like 50,000 miles a year and kicking ass and taking names. So if you wonder, when you look at the subtle little brother Timmy and his wife and children, where she got this vivaciousness and this aggressiveness is from Grandpa Ron, who turned 80 today. So here's a Grandpa Ron. So we can't help but think about, for all of you that are involved in the autism spectrum and have been to, is it Forest Park? Is that where we've done the walk and so forth? All of you, that kind of thing involved, that commitment between you that goes beyond who you are, that's about a bigger thing, and about kids that need a good way in life and so forth and so on. We can't think about it, or can't avoid thinking about the fact that it's a very difficult thing as a couple, as many of you have met tonight, to have a special needs kid in the family who has autism. And with that, we know that there's a lot of casualties, a lot of divorces, and a lot of difficult things, because it's a very difficult challenge. And what a beautiful way that Ryan and Colleen have managed their marriage through all of this together. Now, of course, having paid all the due respect I can, if any of you know about the Irish, they can be finicky. And the same reason you don't want to have purebred Irish retrievers, because it's a bad gene pool. And so with that, we get some uncharacteristic things that you're not proud of, happened by crossbreeding and so forth. And so I hate to say it, while Kathy has been thought of as a sister who's most purely Irish and has all those finicky traits. Of course, among them, are fierce loyalty and those things, but they're also, I'll kill you if you step on my kid, all these kind of things. Maybe the one most like Grandpa Ron, the 80-year-old, is Colleen. Grandpa Ron, who on his 60th birthday was in a bar with some friends, and some young prepster, like 25 years old, came up and criticized him and said, you don't belong here, you guys are old farts and so forth. And my dad on his 60th birthday pulled his right cross back and cold cocked the guy and dropped him in the knees. And so the sister that's most like that is Colleen, so be careful.
Eat right.
So probably to end things as quickly as you'd all like me to, 5 minutes ago, we think about that Colleen was the youngest of the kids. And to go back in the day, I hitchhiked to school 15 miles each way, and occasionally I had some homo pick me up and show me some grotesque maggots. And some Puerto Rican guys with knives want to kill me. So Colleen meets maturation later, and she's got the convertible at Arizona State.
Can't relate.
And Ryan did not have life so bad either, okay? So in honor of that, and the fact that we love her but don't have any clue about her life versus our life, we're still trying to reconcile, working hard and calluses on the fingers and all this sort of thing.
Let's be honest, she ruined my life.
So where's the book?
It's right over there.
Oh, no.
So what we've done, in anticipation of this, I spent 15 months and no small amount of money in 15 months to hire someone to chronicle the history of the Patton family, going back to the 1600s in Ireland. And we've traced all the way forward, and we're just trying to give our baby sister some glimpse of what reality is. So there's your present for your birthday. Here's the cow. Happy birthday.
I'm not going to give you a golf rules etiquette seminar tonight. I'm not going to do the whole we're up in Columbia and it's Autism Week here. But thank you so much for being here. I'm very blessed. I mean, it's amazing how many friends that I have in the room, how many, as he said, have supported our family and community and have embraced, you know, the challenges that we've had and taken us out and had us so much fun when we need it. And I just love you all and thank you so very much. I'm blessed to have this family. I know you guys have been hearing me brag about these people for years. So I'm so glad that they're here so that you can meet them in person and get their autograph. So thank you so much. If everybody could back up a little bit, we might do some cartwheels and Irish jigs. I'm trying to figure out how we're going to work this out, but I'm sure
We
it'll
better
work
watch
out.
out because the last time we knocked over his stack.
I did a cartwheel last weekend.
Yeah,
I don't know about the dress.
No, for 40th and 7th, she we're
We saw the
bars.
white parade and Danny said,
Yeah, we decided that we're not going to do that again. So that might be something in my 40s that I leave behind, like Irish step dancing, because this last St. Patrick's Day I noticed it's really getting harder. People are demanding a lot more and they're expecting you to go longer.
You know, the 21-year-olds really dance over there.
All right, Ryan.
You're gonna run out. I want to. Well, you know, it was interesting Thursday night. I had to go through all the pictures. If everyone's going to the collages, I worked like 3 hours on those. It was hard. With no help from the kids, you know, for 5 minutes, Seamus, a little bit. But I mean, there was one picture I pulled out. Everybody's got to look at it. There was our very first date. You can tell we're on a Southwest plane. And we're sitting backwards on it. Someone took our picture.
very first date.
Our very first date, we went to Las Vegas. And
got married?
no, actually, the Walker's over there. The Walker's over the corner. His brother called us up and said, "They have a free hotel room home to Las Vegas. Do you want to come up?" And if you're in Arizona State, it was a 40-hour flight. You just hopped on a plane and you went to Las Vegas. And that was our very first date. So it almost made me cry when I was looking at the picture, and it just. You gotta go to the
been
picture.
downhill since.
And then there's actually a bunch of pictures from us from when Tim was so gracious to fly the whole family over to Ireland, and the kids got to go to Ireland. So I actually threw a picture on there. One of Colleen that doesn't have Colleen is where the kids are over in Ireland, and they had one of the few life experiences you can have. Yeah, to go over. I don't know how many of us were over there. Maybe 25, 30 of us probably, and we're all over in Ireland together. We spent the week together. Of course, within 5 minutes, Seamus was lost. So, there's an old picture of Colleen like toasting a pint and Seamus was lost. We were like on the cow fields looking for Seamus behind cows. And then the town, of course, had one, a post office and a pub because it's a town in Ireland. And we lose our child.
Was never lost. He talked to the police and said, "My family's over at the pub drunk. Would you go get that?"
There's a bunch of drunk Irish people going through the fields and all
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Sister Peggy has Seamus.
But there was a big testament to Colleen when Karen sent out the invites. I think we on the invite list we had one, maybe 2 people that said they couldn't make. I mean, everybody said they were going to come, which is actually I was disappointed. I wanted 100%. We're almost there. It was tremendous. And
Frank Gallagher says happy birthday, Colin.
Thanks, Frank.
On my phone.
Yeah, get your ass here.
yeah. But no, it is a great testament to how much people love Colleen. She lightens up a room wherever she goes. There's never a dull moment. And there's never a dull moment in our household. With the Irish clan, like as Tim said, with Seamus and Brennan, we're leaving the house today, and it was not dull. But it does almost bring a tear to your eye because to see this many people here and everybody here for Colleen, I really appreciate it, and I can't really say.